One of the saddest things about this country is that so many young women look up to people like the Kardashians, but at the same time don't even know who Candace Owens is. So hopefully this video can help to change that.
So I know you've spoken on like toxic black culture and all that stuff. Besides public speaking, what are you doing to combat against toxic black culture? And then how does your movie Unveiling BLM add to what you're doing? Do you see how it can add to it? Do you see how it can hinder the movement? I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked it, obviously, because it just lets me brag about myself. So the thing that the media never tells about anybody, and it is so infuriating that they ever say about me, is that it's just like, Candace is just critiquing Black America, and then they just strip away everything that I do for Black America. I run a charity. It's called Blexit.com. It's a successful charity, and we are in 39, actually now 41 states. You can go on to Blexit.com, and you can see what we are doing in these inner cities. We have after-school programs in which we pick up these children that are in disadvantaged districts, and we bring them so that they can learn different ideas, and so that their parents don't have to worry about them being on the streets. Aside from after-school programs, we run summer camps for these children so that they have somewhere to go, so that their parents don't have to worry about them being on the streets. Aside from just complaining about BLM and all the destruction that it brought to inner cities, we raised over $100,000 and gave it. We picked Black businesses that had been destroyed in the George Floyd riots, and we gave it to them. Now, I'm telling you all this stuff because the media never will. They need to paint me as a monster and a person that hates my own race, because I have higher expectations, because we should have higher expectations. And there's been this routine lowering of the bar. In terms of the documentary, my purpose in producing that film was that I never thought that there was a more toxic narrative for Black America than the George Floyd story and the lies surrounding it. And I wanted to do that film in a compassionate way, because after speaking to his roommates, I felt sad. This was a man that was struggling with drug addiction. Drug addiction is something that probably every single person in this room can relate to. Somebody in your family, a cousin, a brother. This is something that touches Americans. And the George Floyd story should have been a story that brought Americans together. And it's not his fault that after he died, horrible people used the media narrative to divide Americans, to burn down Black inner city communities, and to raise BLM into the multi-million-dollar organization that essentially stole from Americans. And so I wanted to expose all of that, because I think that once you expose a lie that big, it helps people be less emotional and to really understand, which was, I think, the thesis of my film, which is that the media is our enemy.
So then, what can I do to add to what you're doing?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said, what can I do to add to what you're doing?
Join Blexit. We join the Blexit chapter. Get involved. Every single person. I better see Blexit numbers going off. As soon as you got here, Blexit.com. See what we're doing. And it's an organization that's it's small pocket donors that give $1 a month that allows us to do what we do and to actually make a difference. And honestly, it's the best part of what I get to do, other than going home to my children.
God bless this woman right here. Candace Owens is such a blessing and a boss as far as how she carries herself in society. And unlike these race hustlers that we see all across, popular TV networks, she's actually using her platform to enhance people's lives and add value and direction on how to come up out of whatever situation that they may face, instead of, taking those moments of all eyes on me, all that attention in the moment, that she uses it in a positive direction instead of, hustling and dividing society even more. She uplifts, and it's just amazing. It's rare to see these days, and these are real virtues, not these false, woke, victim virtue signaling mentalities. No. This is exactly why YouTube, unfortunately, just gave her and Michael Knowles a community strike and banned them for, I believe, a week, because the tech giants and media industrial complex, they don't want us to hear the truth about these dirty deeds that go on behind the curtains. It's all smoke and mirrors. They want you to focus on this so they can deter your attention from what's really going on and how they're really caring about their everyday actions. But Candace Owens, she exposes it. She calls it like it is, and she is an absolute rock star. And luckily for us, it doesn't matter what these woke individuals try to do and try to hide as far as their motives and initiatives. God Almighty always brings the facts to light in due time. It always comes out. Just wait a little while and you'll see what's really going on. And the truth shall set you free. If only these people would wake up and truly come alive to that realization. This quote will always ring true, and I have to share it, from Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "The time is always right to do what is right." So It's amazing what they're doing over at Blexit. We need not only black leaders and people that go into these minority communities, we need people of all color skin tones to uplift their communities, because Blexit, it stands for Black Exit from the Victim Mentality, the victimhood mind state that these kids are raised in nowadays. It's very sad, very unfortunate. But the social movement, this one, it was founded by Candace and Brandon Tatum, aka Officer Tatum, two awesome individuals that I'm sure everyone watching this video has heard of. But I want to read their mission statement so that you can really put into context their entire goal and their motives into a more complete perspective. So Blexit is the movement to drive traditional American principles into urban communities across the entire United States of America, to promote economic independence, individual freedom, strengthen the nuclear family, amen, and foster a deeper appreciation for patriotism in Black American culture. We focus on shifting the culture as well as educating and uplifting minority America through educational programs and acts of community service. We need that in not just Black pigmentation of skin, in all pigmentation of skin. All around the country, all around the world, people are being told that society is holding them down, that the white man has the foot on the necks of minorities, and it's just not that way at all. This is the land of the free because of the brave men and women, black, white, all different creeds, have sacrificed and died, laying their lives on the line for the freedoms that we have. This isn't the 1960s, the 1860s. Segregation, slavery, racism, all that was horrible. Those wrongs have since been made right. There isn't a position in society, government, any field that you look at, Black Americans, Mexican Americans, all sorts of people from different backgrounds can attain those roles with hard work, with discipline, with a little extra added effort, and not this mentality like the world owes you something and everybody's out to get you. And these people, Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, myself included, we used to be part of the wokety woke side, growing up and being told that everybody's out to get you. And then we really became aware of these evil liberal policies that were only making minority communities and people as a whole rely on the government instead of, being given the knowledge and opportunities to make their own successful path in the world. It's evil. It's very demonic that these people don't just tell you the truth. Don't just tell you how they got there. The Obamas, the Oprah Winfrey, they tell you all these things. LeBron James, all these athletes and media superstars that get paid millions and billions of dollars. They tell you that society is woke and that, black people got it bad, but how'd you get there? How are you, enjoying the fruits of your labor? Tell people the truth. People need to stop whining and crying and making excuses. And instead, if you're at a position of power and leadership and influence, you need to be a real influencer and influence good and provide facts and knowledge and give people the tricks of the trade and the tools to make their own successful path in life. And I'm talking about poor people all over the world. I'm talking about white, Black, Latino. Every area of society has a lower income side of town. That's just a fact. So those people need guidance. They're not shown that successful entrepreneurship, capitalistic mindset every single day. So don't lean into the streets. That you don't have to resort to selling drugs and selling yourself and doing things of that nature. Not at all. Lean into the Bible and entrepreneurship. Let's show them the truth and real values and moral standards and get their compass aligned with the right sort of righteous principles. And that's what I truly believe. Don't buy into the nonsense and the facade that capitalism is bad. And, if done the right way, capitalism is a beautiful thing. If done with intentions of greed and hoarding it all to yourself and creating some sort of monopoly, obviously nothing good comes from that. But it'll put you in a prime position if done right. Entrepreneurship, self-owned businesses, no matter what you look like, if you create value and your goal and your whole motive is to uplift and provide a service or a good that makes people's lives more convenient and easier, you'll be in a prime position more so than any other career or job to lead by example in the long run. Instead of just telling others that, what they can or can't do, you'll be able to show them and be the light that shines in your community. So go after that dream and that role that you want to have. If there's something that you see lacking in your community, be the one that creates it. Be the one that fills that void. That's the way we see change. That's the way we make impact and true changes happen. So we don't have to rely on the government. So these people don't have to wait for the next Democratic candidate to get in there with all these open-ended promises and keep doing the exact same thing that has been holding communities down decade after decade. Honestly, I pray for these up-and-coming generations because they get lied to every single day by teachers and media talking heads and their parents even in a lot of cases, because they grow up in this ungodly, unmarried household that has this false sense of oppression and this woke ideology that America is somehow holding them down, when in reality, they're doing that to themselves and they can change it. You don't have to rely on the politician to get you out of that situation. No politician, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, independent, Tea Party, none of that stuff. No politician can get you out of the situation that you're in, but you can. A man or woman, little boy, little girl listening, you can take the necessary steps and precautions and, surround yourself with the right wise counsel. Dive into that good book, the Bible, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, first and foremost, because that has the answer to everything that you'll ever face. And it has the godly approach of how you overcome that. That's the single most important thing you could do, is if you own a Bible, dive into it. If you don't own one, invest in one and truly pray and dive in and study and get to know it and live your life according to it. That's where real freedom comes from. And you got to surround yourself with people that you want to attain to be like, as far as their common sense and their logical thinking and their overall value added to society. Optimistic thought leaders. And even though you can't do it physically in person, a lot of times, like, be around people like Candace Owens and Thomas Sowell and Larry Elder. You can listen to them. You can watch them instead of BET and E! News with the little exclamation point. Retire that stuff. You don't have to listen to that. Like, these people have you covered. These people will get you on the right foot, get you on the good path, and lead you in a positive, productive direction instead of this negative, pessimistic mindset like life is over. Like you got nothing to live for and no purpose. And the only thing that you should do is lean on the government. Don't go to work, stay at home, whine and cry about, no. That's all backwards. At the end of every single day, whether we're talking about business or politics or education or athletics or entertainment, reading, whatever it may be, we are all God's creation, created in his image, the one and only race, human beings. So all this race talk, all this discrimination talk, set it to the side. It doesn't need to be there. It's irrelevant at determining your skill level and the results that you get. We need to stop talking about it. It needs to be completely erased because it does not matter, and it should not ever matter. People need to tuck that thing into bed and rely on effort and results. Those do the talking. Those are the only factors that matter, because we all face trials and tribulations, and we all have options when it comes to facing those roadblocks and those ceilings that we either overcome and burst through, or we give up and we bow out. My advice, and I pray this for you, I really want you to hear me out. Do not quit. Let's come together for real in righteousness and love and stand in faith instead of all this division and hatred and racism and, BLM promotion and all this tutti frutti people that want it in the booty sorts of ways of living. No. Let's come together and do it how God designed it to be. Let's start living by those commands, the stuff that Jesus stood for, and let's get our moral compasses aligned together on the kingdom, on eternal salvation. Repent, confess Christ as Lord, go out and be salt and light of the earth and lead by example, and don't just buy into this oppressive state of mind. It's fake. It's a faulty facade that you don't have to allow to, control your mindset and control every step and decision that you make, and then just regurgitate it and act like this it's a real issue, because it's not. So let's go out there. Let's be the change that we want to be. And, let's add value to the world. But that's all I got for today. I know it was a deep one. That's usually what you tend to get on this channel. I'm always going to speak on what I think is the game changer and the mindset and perspective to have when we approach any of these situations that we see going on the day-to-day. But if you got anything to add, please comment down below. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a video. And, feel free to share this video as always. The algorithm is always working against Christian values. So definitely get this out in front of the public so they can see what real truth looks like, not just this perceived fake of this world truth. But outside of that, if you want to support the channel, you like what I'm doing over here, you can always get awesome designs like this Isaiah 41:10, made by my lovely wife over on her Etsy store. She also has insulated tumblers like this Soldiers of America one right here, many other Christian American designs, petite, small designs to big and hefty 5Xs. We got everything you would like over there, linked in the description section down below. Big thank you to my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee members. Y'all know I love you. You putting your hard-earned money behind me, I am forever grateful. I can't even put it into words how much you guys mean to me, and just allowing me to monetarily support my family when YouTube made demonetized videos or whatever it may be. But if YouTube takes us down, I'll be over on Rumble, so make sure you're following me over there as well. But until next time, I love you. Godspeed. I'm gone.